Today we're going to be going over my top 10 list of books that I picked up this week for November 23rd, 2022's new comic book day. Today I've got books to review from Marvel Comics, Boom Studios, and Image as well. This honestly overall is a very solid week and I'm very excited to talk about these books with you guys. But as always, as I begin to talk about these books, just be aware that there are definitely going to be spoilers. But I do put a spoiler tag down below in the corner to give you a heads up that a spoiler is about to happen, so just be on the lookout for that. And now without further ado, let's jump right into this top 10 list. And here we go, folks. Kicking this top 10 list off first, we've got coming in at number 10. This is Marvel's new one. Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise, issue number 1. This is cover A. So I knew going into this one, I probably wasn't going to be a big fan of it, but I thought to myself, it's a brand new Doctor Strange series. Why not give it a try? But originally, when Silver Surfer Black came out, I wasn't a fan of that series either, mainly due to the artwork. And now we've got Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise. It's the same artist and same thing. I really didn't like this first issue at all, mainly because of the artwork. But I tried looking past it, wanted to know what the story was about. Story, it honestly felt all over the place, but before I get into that, as far as the artwork goes, if you are interested in it, this cover is basically what the exact same inside is. It is very colorful, it's very psychedelic, and it just feels very free-flowing. It all just flows together. So take that for what it is, but the story itself, like I said, it's kind of all over the place. Everything's kind of up in the air right now. Doctor Strange, he wakes up, and he's in a different universe, a different realm. He doesn't know if he's even alive or dead, but he starts hearing some voices that are talking to him, telling them that this is a bad area for him. He probably shouldn't be here. He needs to leave. He needs to go back home and at least figure out how to get back home. But he pushes on. He wants to figure out what his meaning is or his purpose is in this whole area. We get to see some of the different creatures that are there, but once we get towards, pushing the middle, maybe towards the end, then a lot of stuff starts to happen. But with all that being said, I'm probably not going to continue on with this one at all. It's really hard to look past this artwork for me. Just my opinions, though. I want to hear yours down below. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 10 this week. This is Marvel's new one, Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise, issue number 1. And now we've got coming in at number 9 this week. This is Marvel's Daredevil, issue number 5. This is cover A. So even though I didn't finish reading the last volume of Daredevil written by Zdarsky or even the Devil's Reign event, I am absolutely loving this newest volume from Zdarsky. I think he's doing a killer job on the storytelling, and the artwork is absolutely top-notch. Now, with that being said, this 5th issue, since I didn't finish reading any of the prior stuff, this new issue, it kind of feels like we're finally progressing along with the story. The characters all need to be where they are, and it finally doesn't feel like they're bringing in just past events, because I read those first couple of issues, and I felt a little confused, and I thought about dropping it, but I'm glad I stuck with it, because now we're finally moving along. Now, in this 5th issue, Daredevil and Elektra, they're finally married, the Fist is resurrected, and they're trying to take down the Hand, and at this point, they're just trying to get an army along. So we did get to see a little bit of action. What our main characters are trying to do, they're trying to finally just start their new mission. They go to a prison out in the middle of the ocean. They're trying to recruit some of just the deadliest inmates. They want to give them a second chance at life. I don't want to spoil anything else for you because we did get some really cool action towards the middle, a little bit towards the end of the issue. But seriously, check this new volume out if you haven't already done so. And now with all that being said, we've got coming in at number 9 this week, we've got Marvel's Daredevil issue number 5. Now we've got coming in at number 8 this week, this is Image's Hitomi issue number 2. This is cover A. I've talked to quite a few people who aren't really enjoying this series, but in my opinion, I think they're doing a phenomenal job just building some of these characters and developing a story. It is definitely a little bit on the slower side. The first issue had a bit more action. This one, though, they're really building up some of these character relationships. We've got Hitomi, and she's still trying to get Yasuki to teach her to be a samurai. He's retired, though. He doesn't want to do that at all. He just wants to move back home and be done with just everything that he's doing in his life right now. Some things happen from there, and like I said, a little bit slower of an issue, but the entire thing is just them just developing their relationship and building their bond with each other. So some spoilers are coming up, but they did end up coming to an agreement. He's teaching her how to be a samurai, and like I said, this is such a fun read. Want to hear your opinions on it down below, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 8 this week, we've got Image's Hitomi issue number 2. And now we've got coming in at number 7, this is Marvel's Alien issue number 3. This is cover A. So you guys already know I'm a huge fan of the Alien stuff. I loved Volume 1. I thought they did a great job with it. Volume 2, I thought was a pretty solid follow-up. However, now with Volume 3, I'm not really enjoying it so far. I know it's only 3 issues deep and I'm going to continue on with it, but the first issue didn't really do a good job pulling me in, probably because all the main characters are synthetics, they've got powers, and if you've been following me and my channel for a while, I tend to not read as many superhero books. I read a lot of the indie stuff, and I love my monster books. So we've got aliens, and now they're mixing it kind of with people with powers. I don't know, not exactly my thing, but I kept reading on with it, hoping it was going to get better. Not a big fan of the second issue, although it was a lot better than the first one. This third issue. It started off a little boring, if you can recall from the last issue. They met up with some humans and they saved the synthetics, but they're kind of, a little unsure of each other due to just a lot of past events with humans and synthetics. But they start talking to each other and we learn a lot about what's going on this planet. And that really brought me into this third issue. So we learn all about the aliens, everything that they're testing, that they're making different sort of vaccines with the aliens. It was really cool stuff. We get some plot twists towards the end as well. And after I just got done kind of dumping on this new volume, this third issue really pulled me into it. So if you were on the fence with it, definitely read up to this third one and go from there. And now with all that being said, we've got coming in at number 7 this week. This is Marvel's Alien issue number 3. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 6, this is Boom Studios' Eve, Children of the Moon, issue number 2, this is cover A. When I heard they were coming out with another volume of Eve, I was so pumped. I loved that first volume. I was definitely always recommending it to everyone who was trying to get into a new series. The storytelling and the artwork were both fantastic. My only problem with that series was there weren't enough issues. I would have loved more backstory, more detail on everything, but this newest volume is definitely a very solid follow-up to the first one. Although you can't just get started on this one like some other series, it's just basically a follow-up story. I just wanted more details from the last volume. So with this second issue, if you can recall from the first one, we got Wexler and Eve. They finally made it to their destination. It kind of looked like a bunch of stuff was going to go down. Instead, we get to see Celine from the opposite side, and we get a complete origin, just backstory on her. I don't really want to spoil anything for you guys because it really was just from when she arrived at that building to her becoming a leader and just everything else going on with her. All the things that she's had to do. Love the second issue, and I love this series. They're doing a great job on it so far. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 6 this week, we've got Boom Studios' Eve, Children of the Moon, issue number 2. And here we go, folks. We are down to the top 5 issues of the week. So coming in at number 5, we've got Images, 8 Billion Genies, issue number 6. This is cover A. So if you've been following me for a while now, you know I've been nonstop hyping up this series. I love the artwork. It is phenomenal, and the storytelling has been top-notch. It's only getting better and better as the issues go on. But what I will say is I think it was around the 4th or maybe the 5th issue, the vibe started to change a little bit. I feel as though they started to go in a little bit different of a direction. We started seeing new characters pop in. We started getting a little bit more into the future. Wasn't sold on it. Not bad by any means, but just a little bit different of a direction I would have hoped that they would have went in. Now with this 6th issue, they went full force on a different direction. This one takes place over the course of 8 years. So we get to see all of the characters over 8-year time span, but it is cool because we get to see the families just trying to survive. We get the 3 bandmates, we got the Zhangs, we got the Greens, just trying to live their day-to-day life and just in their new homes. So that was very cool. I like seeing the different, just, how everyone is living. Some of the people still have wishes left. Just not exactly the direction I was hoping for, but we got a couple issues left and I hope they give it a proper ending. And now with that being said, we've got coming in at number 5 this week, this is Images, 8 Billion Genies, issue number 6. And now we've got coming in at number 4 this week, this is Images, The Department of Truth, issue number 22, this is cover A. Now, I'm still a big fan of this story. I love the artwork, and I think Tynion is doing a phenomenal job just building up these characters and really just developing a full story. But with that being said, I've talked to so many people now who do not like this series at all. They dropped it about 10 issues ago. They said it is so insanely boring. Nothing is going on. They don't even know what the main plot is at this point because there's so many just random kind of tie-in issues where they're dealing with other conspiracies. And you know what? I totally get that. It is a little bit slower. It's just, I know with Tynion, everything is a build-up and it's almost always worth the wait. This issue though, issue number 22, I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger of an issue, especially how things left us from the last one. I thought a lot of stuff was going to happen, but like a lot of the other ones, it was a little bit slower. He's building up the story. We did get a lot more info. If you can recall, now we've got Cole. His husband knows everything. He knows the Department of Truth. He knows what Cole has been up to. Black Hat is trying to get to him first before just everybody else gets to Cole's husband. Very cool concept. I love what he's doing with it, but now we've got the Department of Truth and the Black Hat just trying to get into Cole's husband's head. Fun read. Let me know if you're still reading it down below. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 4 this week, we've got Images, The Department of Truth, issue number 22. And now we've got coming in at number 3 this week, this is Boom Studios' brand new one, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 1. This is cover A. So with this first issue, I didn't exactly know what I was going to be getting into, but based on a front cover, I kind of thought it was just going to be an apocalyptic love story, and I guess after finishing it, it kind of is an apocalyptic love story, but it's really not that bad at all. I think Jason Aaron did a great job just developing the plot and telling just the stories of these characters that we get introduced to. So I'm not going to be getting too in depth with the issue. I want you guys to read this one for yourself, but a little bit about it. We get introduced to our first main character. His name is Maceo. He lives in this massive tower by himself. He doesn't have any parents. He doesn't know where they are. We do get a little bit of info about that, but I don't want to spoil that for you. But he's got literally everything that he needs to survive. survive. He's got all the supplies, all the food that he needs to just live. But because he lives by himself, every time somebody comes near his tower, a bad guy or just a monster, he booms them. So basically, he just kills them and he goes about his day. But one day, another character shows up, and after this person takes off their mask, it's a female. And his eyes, I'm telling you, they widen so bright, he invites her in, and that's kind of where the story goes. He wants her to stay with him, but she's running from something. There's something off with her, but we don't get a lot of info about her either. And this is where a big spoiler comes up. So after they kind of go about their separate ways, he decides to say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to follow you. I'm going on a journey with you now. It was a very fun first issue. If you read it, let me know what you think about it down below. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3 this week, we've got Boom Studios' brand new one, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 1. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 2, this is Boom Studios' Stuff of Nightmares, issue number 3. This is a variant cover. The man has still got it. R.L. Stine can still write a very creepy story. If you grew up reading the Goosebumps and you're not reading this series, you are making a big mistake. This series is so good so far. Now, I'm not going to be getting too in depth with it. Not a lot of stuff happens in this issue, but it truly does progress the story a lot. So if I talk about it, it's really going to spoil everything. But we've got our main characters, the brothers, his girlfriend, but our main one to focus on is Isaac. It picks up right where the last one left off. He just got done killing his brother, but he transfers his brain into that body that they just got from the morgue. So it makes you think, was that body all part of the plan? Did he want to kill his brother to kind of put his brain in there? Who knows? But Isaac is crazy. A lot of other stuff happens from there. The mongrels are still on the loose as well. A lot of stuff is happening in this series, and it's only 3 issues deep. If you grew up reading the Goosebumps, you absolutely need to be reading this one as well. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 2 this week, we've got Boom Studios' Stuff of Nightmares, issue number 3. And here we go, folks. This is it, my number 1 read of the week. So we've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Images. What's the Furthest Place from Here? Issue number 8. This is cover A. This series has had such a massive turnaround, in my opinion. Those first couple of issues, I thought they were all right. I didn't really like the setup and just the layout of the series. And I was honestly about to drop it, but it was around the 3rd or 4th issue where things really took off. And I think the 4th or 5th issue sold me on it. And since then, it has just been a top-notch A1 series, in my opinion. Now, this issue, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it was so much better. We got a complete origin story. The main focus was on Wilbur, though. He was part of the pig family, and just we got a lot of background story, just what happened in the meetings before the carnivals took over, a lot of the different families, and what led to that family in the very beginning in just the first issue, the kind of outsiders, how they all came together. This was a phenomenal issue. I love this series. If you haven't started it, definitely find those back issues. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 1, taking the crown this week, we've got Images. What's the Furthest Place from Here, issue number 8. And that's a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below what your top read of the week was and which ones you think I missed out on. And thanks for watching. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below with notifications turned on. You won't regret it. And now I've got 2 more sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.